Hey folks, it's Alexander the Real Mr. Robinson. I think we're all good. Just in case that audio cut out in the beginning, because I'm horrible at timing these live streams, at least the beginning. Hey everyone, it's Alexander the Real Mr. Robinson. Welcome to the channel. Thank you guys for joining me on this live watch along for what I think is one of the best Godzilla movies in the series, and actually my second favorite of all time, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, because Tuesday was Mothra versus Godzilla, and while I like that movie, I just don't like it. It baffles me why a lot of people say that that's one of the best of the series. And I've always been a Ghidorah fan, not just in the monster, but just the movie itself. Out of the two Godzilla movies that came out in 1964, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster was always my favorite because it just did a lot more stuff involving it just introduced a lot more with the series. First of all, before I get into that, I want to welcome all of you who are in the chat right now, interacting with each other. Spider's Prime, Razorbike, Justin Toner, Ludwig von Gaming, sorry about that, and Quantate, welcome. Hope you all are doing good so far. Hope you've been having a good day. And yeah, the reason why I think this is one of the best is because it introduced so many important elements to the Godzilla series. One, it was the first movie to feature more than one monster, and I don't count that giant octopus, since Godzilla doesn't actually fight that octopus. It introduced Godzilla's arch nemesis, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. It was the first Godzilla movie to introduce the big giant monster mash. It's the first one where Godzilla transitions into being a good guy, and it was the first. And it was a movie that also managed to kind of be a sequel to Rodan as well, because 1956's Rodan is actually a prequel to this. So yeah, like Rodan and Mothra, as we talked about on Tuesday, all connected to the Godzilla series. And I'm not going to drag this out any longer. Without further ado, let's just hop into 1964's Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. Now, if you have a DVD, then perfect. If you have a Blu-ray, that's also perfect. If you don't, but you have a Criterion Channel account, then the movie's on the Criterion Channel. It should be easy find for you, and it will be the Japanese version, because I'm doing this for all of the Godzilla movies, at least the Japanese films. And yeah, without further ado, I'm not going to waste any more time. Hope you guys are all set. And Raheem Frazier, welcome to the stream. Without further ado, I am playing the movie right now. It's been a long day. I'm gonna wake up at 6 in the morning for some dumb reason. So I'm gonna apologize right now if I feel like I'm sort of out of it. But yeah, let's have some fun with this movie. Kind of a weird like thing to have the opening title be, which is just a close-up of Ghidorah's chest. Yep, the Godzilla a lot of music. There's a lot of music from the last movie that gets reused, but the Godzilla theme itself, it's like, again, you can't have a movie without it. But this is, as much as I love this movie, this is opening credit sequence, or at least the images they decided to show during the credits, is kind of bizarre, especially this like freeze frame of Godzilla's feet. And that was not a perfectly timed freeze frame of Rodan either, so whatever. That's the opening credits. It's fine. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Is the mic good? I assume you can hear me, but just in the chat, just give me a virtual thumbs up, or just say, yeah, we hear you. All right, Razorbike, thank you. This is like some cult thing right here. Huh? Oh, a non-believers here doesn't believe in aliens, so they must have drew the aliens away because of their non-belief. Huh? Wow. It's called global warming. Ain't shit to do with aliens. Well, I mean, yes, there's an alien in this movie, but this is like in LA, it's warm in January anyway, and that's because of global warming. You know, this could easily be a sequel to. I mean, it is a sequel to Mothra versus Godzilla, but I don't understand why it's not a sequel in the sense that the characters are the same, because Yuriko Hoshi's character was a photographer in Mothra versus Godzilla, so you could just make the argument that this is her same character, she just got promoted to reporter this time. There's the actor who would play the scientist in The Return of Godzilla 20 years later. Yeah, Turner Classic Movies, like a few weeks before the Criterion collection was released, they they showed most of the Godzilla movies from the Showa era on that, and for a while I didn't think that Turner Classic Movies showed foreign films, nor did I think that they showed movies with like explicit cursing or nudity, but yeah, they were showing the Last Picture Show not too long ago, and that has a lot of nudity. And then I think it was Superfly. They were also showing, and it's like, wow, I'm surprised that you could get away with this stuff on Turner Classic Movies. And you are correct, Razorbike. As much as I'm a Godzilla fan, there are only two movies out of the entirety of the franchise that I gave my highest rating to. And this is one of them. It's only a model. Although that plane was a little more convincing than some of the other models we've seen so far. Yeah, they did show Kurosawa films on Turner Classic Movies. When, on the day of Toshiro Mifune's 100th birthday, they showed Rashomon, Seven Samurai, and Yojimbo, and another movie. I know it's a nitpick, but it's pretty funny that a bunch of oh crap! What was I gonna say? I totally forgot what I was gonna say. So did she open that telepathically? Okay, did she open that Did she open the door telepathically? And how did she survive jumping out of an airplane? Huh? That's something. Those are the important questions right there. Huh? You know, the fact that in the American version it was changed from her getting possessed by an alien from Venus to an alien from Mars just shows how shallow Americans are when it comes to like Mars being the go-to planet. There's Hiroshi Koizumi playing another scientist. It's a shame that during his career with Toho, there were only two that I could think of. Two Toho science fiction movies where he played anything but a scientist. Godzilla Raids Again and Matango. I think he played the ship's captain in Matango. And yeah, like he could easily just be his character from Mothra versus Godzilla again. She kept her knees straight when she hit the water. Uh, unless you're like, unless you're Captain America, you could like jump as high as you want from the air and land in water. You're not surviving that. But whatever. That's no point in complaining about. I mean, it's a fun thing to poke fun at. Having that meteor be magnetic is such a convenient way for these characters to find it. I gotta say, somebody pointed this out in the chat earlier. First of all, that's an obvious set. It's funny they transitioned from like being actually out on location, and now they're in a set, an obvious set, but whatever. Somebody mentioned this in the chat. Between like the video quality between the Criterion Blu-ray and the classic media DVD is such a big step up. Like, like these transfers, I'm pretty sure all the transfers, with the exception of the first Godzilla, were taken from previous Blu-ray copies, but still pretty good transfers. Oh, quick, grab them! Grab the equipment, don't let it fly away. The guy who plays the person who gives his clothes to the princess. Maybe I'm not. I haven't gotten to that part yet, but I think I know who you're talking about. Oh, that sucks. Kaiju Nerd United. First of all, I don't think I've ever seen you in the chat before, but it's a damn shame you have to miss out. But at least you'll be able. At least you have work. Um, yeah. I'm doing these every Tuesday, Thursday, so definitely come back whenever you can. And yeah, sorry about that. Okay, that's first of all, the second line is in such bad taste. The first line, if you're looking at her that whole time and questioning whether she's a man or a woman, then you probably need to get your eyes checked. Oh, right on. Thank you for the support, Kaiju Nerd United. Uh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, maybe next time. So I guess everyone just forgot that they're. Well, I guess now. Okay, I don't know if they ever explained this in the movie, and maybe someone in the chat can help me with this. But is it established that the Rodan in this movie is one is from Rodan that just survived being burned alive, or is that the offspring of the two Rodan in the first movie? Because I don't think they actually make that clear. Okay, so it is an offspring, not the same Rodan. I mean, there also could be the argument that, wow, that TV is not really. Never mind. Um, I mean, if Godzilla survived in the ice for 7 years, then if that was one of the Rodans from the first movie, then it could be Rodan could have survived in the lava for 8 years. But I think it makes more sense to say if it was an offspring. Or another Rodan, as Ludwig von Gaming points out, just like the Godzilla from Raids Again and Here on Out is just another Godzilla. Pretty funny how after being forced into show business, the Mothra fairies are very enthusiastic about doing this on their own. Like, are they just bored, or do they just want to do show business all of a sudden? Something I mentioned last week was this was my first time ever seeing Mothra. And for the longest time, I'd always, maybe for either probably a year, maybe 2 years, I'd always thought Mothra was just the caterpillar. So I didn't, like, and I wasn't really paying attention to, like, the plot or anything. So, it was like a total surprise in watching Mothra versus Godzilla and seeing that thing come out of the eggs. I'm like, oh, that's Mothra. So, are there TV cameras on Infant Island? I think it would be cool. It would be cool if the adult Mothra was in this movie instead, but well, can't have everything. Still my second favorite of the series. Diplomatic relationships between humanity and Infant Island. Kind of a weird way to do that, but hey, whatever works for them. Grown ass man acting that way. Wow. I mean, how else would that TV audience be able to see what was going on in Infinite Island? You gotta love these made up countries that Toho comes up with for these movies, or even made up cities like Newkirk City and Mothra, or whatever mysterious country Madam X comes from in King Kong Escapes. No, there's always something about this Godzilla movie where I don't know if I want to say the human stuff's more interesting than the monster stuff, but it's equally as engaging, but it doesn't feel like two different movies going on at the same time. Okay, at least these civilians are more civilized. Okay, the subtitles say "Reawaken Rodan," so uh, I mean that's kind of a clear indication that like one of those Rodan must have survived. But then again, this series is not as on point with continuity the way something like the Marvel Cinematic Universe is. There's that crazy Faroe Island translator again. Yeah, that can't be safe at all. That's obviously not a set. So that can't be safe. Okay, Godzilla. Rodan looks so dead-eyed, at least in that shot there. And funny enough, we all identify this as the Rodan theme, but this theme actually belonged to Varen. This was actually Varen's theme in his own movie. I don't know why Godzilla's roar was right there, but it seems to fit better with Rodan than it does Varen. Wow, those buses. We'll get to Godzilla versus Gigan when we get to it. There's So Shea Smithers says that the human half of this movie feels like a James Bond movie. I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far. It's not necessarily a spy movie or spy thriller or anything. But Akiko Wakabayashi would end up being a Bond girl. I mentioned this in King Kong versus Godzilla, but she ended up being a Bond girl 3 years after this movie came out in You Only Live Twice from 1967. Wait, so I know I'm asking questions I shouldn't be asking in a giant monster movie, but if they're telepathic, why do they have to take a boat back to Infant Island? Or like if they're mythical, what why are they taking a boat? Of course, we can't show them uh, pulling the door open. Someone, Varen, Justin Toner asks, is Varen worth watching? It's okay. It's not that iconic of a monster movie at all. I mean, Varen is probably one of the least popular um, monsters out there, but it's fine. Oh, there's that crazy mayor from Yojimbo again. Oh, that's where uh, she gets the clothes from. Okay, that's okay. I see. That's where your bond comparison came from. Okay, there's a again. I hate to question uh, science in a movie like this, but there's a clear line between science and cultish nonsense. And that shit right there that they just explained was cultish nonsense. Exactly. Razorback summed it up perfectly. That seed just comes out of nowhere. And in it comes and goes nowhere. Exactly. Never mentioned again. It looks like the same set from Mothra versus Godzilla that they redecorated. Or maybe it's just me. That didn't. They didn't really do a good job of hiding. Well, a little too late for that. I have seen the angry video game nerd Godzilla episode, and I realized how crappy a lot of those older Godzilla games were. But can't say I'm surprised. Those are some fake ass whales. Really fake whales right there. And there he is. Okay, enough of that scene. Perfect timing. Well, the magnetism has just stopped, so there's nothing else we can do. Oh, hey, look, it's starting again. You know, it's a shame you couldn't give her the MCU style disguise. Just give her a baseball cap and some shades. Nobody will recognize her. Or either one of them will do. Yeah, I can't. As soon as the Godzilla series is done, I can't wait to do watch-alongs for the MCU. So that's what I'm planning on once I finish the Godzilla movies. What was that? You know, come to think of it, they never uh, they never really say why they want to assassinate her. Um, but it's like it doesn't really matter because it's just like we need to get this plot going for the monsters to fight. Every Godzilla movie, not just the Showa era, because why would I just do the Showa era? I want to do all of them, and by all of them, I'm also going to be doing the Roland Emmerich movie, which that'll be an interesting rewatch. But we've got a couple weeks before we get to that movie. I am the police, god damn it. Oh, so it's just the bracelet then. Okay, I guess that's as shallow of a reason as any to assassinate her, but the moment I'm at, the Mothra twins are taking their sweet time, just watching this play out. Now they do something. Oh shit. That fire alarm didn't do a thing. So wait, did the assassins just hightail it out of there and just leave? Why did they take care? What, whatever. I gotta stop asking questions about this movie that I clearly love. Now I want to make sure, Razorback, you're talking about the Roland Emmerich film, right? It did seem that long ago that Godzilla destroyed the boat. Okay, Raheem Frazier just kind of summed up what the English dub of this movie establishes as reason to assassinate her. And Razorback, I appreciate the quotes for that movie because we all know it ain't a Godzilla movie. There's that blob in the sky that's supposed to be Rodan. I appreciate how this Godzilla suit isn't as wobbly as the last movie, especially around the upper lips. It's funny that Godzilla is rampaging around and Rodan doesn't do anything. He just flies away. Yeah, technically, this is the same suit from Mothra versus Godzilla, and they just fixed up the head. There's Takashi Shimura. Not playing Dr. Yamane, but that's fine. So this part doesn't really have anything to do with man's. As Blue Oyster Cult says, the folly of man. It's just Ghidorah being a problem throughout the galaxy, pretty much. Okay, here is a oddity, like the biggest oddity of this movie. So it's daytime. Just want you guys to like observe this right now. First of all, here's a minor oddity that pops up here. Rodan comes in towards Godzilla. For some reason, utters Godzilla's roar and then knocks him over. That's not the oddity. So Godzilla and Rodan were rampaging, well, mainly Godzilla, rampaging through the city at nighttime. They take the Venus, they take the princess to the scientist in daytime. Godzilla and Rodan start to fight each other at daytime, and now it's suddenly nighttime. After this sequence, it goes back to daytime. So, but in the American version, it's fixed to where this sequence takes place before they take the princess to the scientist. So, just found it odd that Godzilla and Rodan spent an entire day fighting in this version. So that's one change in the American version that I actually did quite a bit. And even the American version itself isn't that bad. There's some weird dubbing, but and some weird musical changes as well, but most of the Ifukube score is there, and it's not that bad of a English dub. Man, they really hype up this appearance right here. Like, it's nighttime, there's thunder coming from that meteor, it cracks open, there's fog, there's winds all over the place, there's sparks flying. There's a fireball in the sky, and then it suddenly forms into Ghidorah. There he is. Probably my favorite non-Godzilla Godzilla monster. No, wait, if that makes sense. My favorite monster besides Godzilla. That was a hell of a nap that they were all taking if it was just very cloudy where they were. Oh, I thought there was something wrong with my screen, but it's like there's just a giant... Because it was like there was a giant speck across the screen, and no, that's just King Ghidorah. What was that dude? There was some guy fighting with the cops. It's like, dude, there's a monster coming. Like, just run. There's that pagoda again. Oh, just a minor scratch. It'll be fine. Defense Minister, because I'm just too lazy to answer these questions. Like, at the moment, Rodan and Godzilla aren't really that big a problem because they're just having beef at Mount Fuji, not really hurting anyone. See, they're off way in the distance. They're not bothering anyone but themselves. There are these puppets again. This is the first. I think this might be the first movie where these monsters actually have some sort of personality. Territory thing. It could be a territorial matter. Sure, just go ahead and say that on live TV. No one cares or is watching. Yeah, y'all might want to get out of there now. Especially now that he can shoot lightning. One thing that I've always loved about Ghidorah in these earlier movies is, like, his heads never stop waving around. Like, they're just always moving around wildly. Okay, we're going to call Mothra immediately, but we're going to take our time with this actual song. I don't think this goes for as long as the Mothra egg hatching scene in the last movie, but it's taken a little longer than it should for King Ghidorah just running amok throughout Japan. Now she moves. Now she's on her way to Japan. This close to getting her to admit she's the princess. So are there more aliens from Venus running around Earth? For 5,000 years? Yeah, yeah, that reporter just really screwed everyone over, put her in danger. That's a good point about having Mothra be in her larva form in this movie, but also, I mean, this movie came out the same year as Mothra versus Godzilla, so continuity wise, within the film's universe, it probably makes sense that Mothra would still be in larva form. Now, are they really approaching, or are they just still fighting each other? Jesus. Huh. Right now, Rodan's just annoying Godzilla. Funny how Rodan's stubby little legs can lift Godzilla. What a coincidence. Oh, shit. And remember, this was all your fault. Huh? Huh. Yeah, I don't think anyone would keep standing and just doing this constantly if he got hit by a wrench. Yeah, there's definitely some personality within these monsters. There's the puppets again. That Godzilla puppet is just so bizarre. Okay, that was a light tap, and Rodan got knocked to the ground. The puppets are just so bizarre in this movie particular. Like, look at that. It's not. I wouldn't say it's every other year. I mean, 1964, if you count Ghidorah as an alien. 1965, 19. I guess if you count Hedorah as an alien, 1971. And then every movie in the 70s has to involve aliens or an opposing force. And then 1999 for the Kilak in Destroy All Monsters, because that's technically when that movie takes place, even though it was made in 1968. No, wait. Yeah, 68, that's correct. There's one shot in Ebirah Horror of the Deep when Godzilla fights that giant condor where there's a Godzilla puppet, but yeah, I'm pretty sure from here on out, after this movie, they would just stick more to the close-ups of suits. I like this moment coming up when Godzilla and Rodan eventually end up unintentionally playing catch with one another. Yeah, right here. And then Mothra is just kind of perplexed. Like, right there. Like, she's just watching it happen back and forth. Yeah, this part where Rodan's just laughing. Like, he's still laughing until he gets a taste of the web also, and then not only is Godzilla laughing at this part, but I like how Rodan's mouth is still open. Like, when you get drenched by water and you're just like you're in, you're like, did that just happen? And then Godzilla sits on his tail. That never made sense to me. How, like, does the tail just support him like a chair? And Godzilla's got his arms on his hands on his legs. I don't speak monster. Damn them, those bastards. Oh yeah, there's the reason. It's a shame he's not closer to Godzilla and Rodan. Otherwise, they'd be easier to convince them. Yeah, that's clearly a model car. And then there's the real one. Those guys are clearly dead, but the main assassin just casually gets out of the car even if he is like injured. All right, that was some event, like Incredible Hulk shit where like the Hulk for no reason just punches Thor to the side. And it's like, man, you did that on purpose. Meanwhile, damn, I'm out of I'm out of water. Oh well. You got about less than 20 minutes left. Like, they're almost convinced. No, they're not. Yeah, as if they can hear the humans. So the suit actor that plays King Ghidorah, um, the suit actor that plays King Ghidorah, actually played King Kong, and in a way, I kind of feel bad how he went from like playing King Kong, a very physically demanding role, to playing a monster where all his role was just standing up straight and just supporting Ghidorah's heavy body. Because really, Ghidorah's more like the suit actor is just standing there, but it's all the puppeteers in the background that have to animate Ghidorah's tail, wings, and heads. How did you guys lose? Like, how did you just, like, look the other way and suddenly she's gone? That's kind of a little cool moment where Godzilla offers Mothra's tail to help her get up the hill. Okay, and Rodan's head came clean off. Like when Ghidorah and Rodan fell off, the head to the Rodan prop just came straight off because of the impact. What changed Godzilla and Rodan's mind to help? The script. Here's another interesting tidbit about this fight. Godzilla's been using his atomic breath Godzilla's been using his atomic breath on Rodan. Not once does this entire fight, not once during the entire fight, does he ever use his atomic breath on Ghidorah. Totally missed her. Dead. Like she is dead right there. Yeah, there's no way she. I gotta stop. I gotta stop this. It's like it's almost like I imagine some of you out there are like, God damn it, just go with it. Nothing. Nothing like a good old bump to the head to make you remember all over again. Now, this assassin's a terrible shot. See, he doesn't even hit the princess. I love how the actor just like catches that rock and then falls backwards. All right, so the human plot's all done with. Let's get back to why you watch this movie. And thus the Monster Mash was born. And now here comes the Just a Toner summed it up. Like this is probably the most iconic moment of the movie where Mothra is on Rodan's back, spraying Ghidorah with webs, and Godzilla's got a hold of him so he doesn't fly away. Okay, I'm not sure where that avalanche came from. It's amazing that Ghidorah could still fly away after, or hell, even able to see anything after his webs, after his heads are just covered in web. Yeah, not once. Godzilla never used his atomic breath during that entire fight. And I do like how this is the only movie where, well, up until King of the Monsters, where Ghidorah is the villain but acts on his own will rather than being under the control of aliens. The bullet that no, we saw that bullet hit the rock. And plus a bullet from like in the head is I'm not an expert on this, but I'm pretty sure that's fatal. Pretty sure if you got shot in the head, you're not walking away from that. Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll see what happens with the future of the MonsterVerse. Raheem Frazier. Whenever Godzilla vs Kong gets released, we'll see what the future holds. But even if the MonsterVerse ends with Godzilla vs Kong, then at least Toho will be able to make more Godzilla movies later on. And there you go. That's Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. Yeah, said it before. I'll say it again. It's my second favorite movie of the entire franchise, besides the original Godzilla. Why did I blank on that? But whatever. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Great monster action. Started a lot of trends that would last throughout the rest of the series, and had an interesting human story as well. No, Toho is not actually working on sequels to Shin Godzilla. They're wanting to do another type of cinematic universe with Godzilla. I think I think Toho's made it clear that Shin Godzilla was a one and done thing. Although, given what's going on with coronavirus worldwide, that would provide some good metaphorical material to do a sequel to Shin Godzilla, where Japan thought they had Godzilla contained, but then it just got worse once Godzilla was unfrozen. But we can talk about Shin Godzilla sequel what ifs when we get to Shin Godzilla, which will be a long time from now. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you all for joining me on these watch-alongs. For the regulars out there, you know who you are. For those of you who are watching along but are not interacting in the comments, please do so next time. Want to see more interactivity between you guys. I want to interact with you guys a lot more as well. If you really like what I'm doing with the channel, and you want to help support it financially, you can go over to patreon.com/TheRealMrRobinson, and only for only $1 a month, you are able to get exclusive watch-alongs, because my watch-alongs for the Godzilla series and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'm only doing this because we are in the middle of a pandemic, and I want to try to bring out some more content. But if you cannot support the show financially, that's totally fine. YouTube subscriptions are good enough, and you sharing the videos will do just fine. So, yeah, Tuesday we will be doing 1965's Invasion of the Astro Monster, or Godzilla vs. Monster Zero, however you prefer to call it. And, yeah, from here on out, it's just every Tuesday and Thursday until I'm done with the Godzilla movies, and we move on to Marvel. We've got some more videos coming up, more older reviews. I've got a couple of other ranking videos coming out. I won't say for what film series, but we'll look for one coming out this weekend. And yeah, again, thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you guys for joining me on this watch-along. Until next time, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.